Hey guys, Saf here with another Raid Shadow Legends video, and today it is the first time we have ever seen the portal glow red, which of course signifies that we have these double boosted opportunities for a Primal Shard. Now, the most important thing to note here is this doesn't improve the odds of you getting a mythical champion, which is what the main reason why you might open a Primal Shard is for. It is simply boosting the opportunity to get an epic and legendary champion. Now, for these times two, it's probably quite good for a legendary and epic champion, being a 2% chance and a 32% chance, if you had enough quantity of them. If there was more like the way that you would acquire ancient shards, this would be extremely good. But considering you have to pay an arm and a leg for these shards, and also you just can't get a lot of them, right? So far, they seem to be sticking them at the literal end point of the sort of dungeon divers events or tournaments that you have to basically win. Like, I've been doing a lot of savage farming, so I'll probably win 2 more primal shards this weekend because I'm probably going to put another 10,000 points into Fire Knight here. So if you actually could get a lot of quantity of them, these odds are really good. Now, the mythical odds not being boosted is not really a problem for me because, you know, they've only just come into the game. You want to kind of make them a little bit rare. I don't really care so much about that, to be honest. The main takeaway here is this would be really good if we had access to primal shards. Now, one thing I really want to call out here is the summon rush. So this is the first summon rush we've had, and you can see that primal shards are valued at 200 points, which is less than a sacred shard but more than a void shard. Now, what's interesting here, so far every single pack that we've had in the game has put the primal shards pricing according to PLARIUM at around about $8.33, right? We can see here this primal shard, if we divide it by sort of $49.99 divided by 6, you can see that's around about $8.33. There's also another pack in here. You can see there's 3. They've replaced the mini mix pack. I don't know if there's another one here. Yeah, there's another one here. Look, we can basically take 80 divided by 10. It's going to get us around about $8. So pretty much they're valuing these at $8.33. How do we know these primal shards are overpriced? Well, PLARIUM are telling you they're overpriced because of the way that they've structured this summon rush. So we've only filled the void shards in here just now, but you can see I put 24 voids for $59. That's roughly a $2.5 per shard. We get 120 points. So per void shard, we're getting around about sort of 48 points per dollar. That's kind of the rate we've got. Now, if we look at the ancient shard, typically ancient shards can be varied from different packs and different prices, but we can kind of take a look at this, maybe this pack string here. We can see they're giving us 26 ancient shards pretty much. There's a few gems here, but let's just say 26 ancient shards for $39.99. We're going to use this as an example. So we can put 26 in here, we can put $39.99. That gives us $1.50, basically $1.5 per shard, summon rush points of 20, so we get about 13 points per dollar. Now, we know they overvalue sacred shards. This probably look at the monthly pack as a pretty good example, maybe, or maybe we can have a look at some of these other things. Typically, they kind of price them around about $20 to $25 a shard. So let's have a look here, see if we've got anything in it. There is probably some in the pack string here. Let me see if I can find a copy of this elite string second purchase here. Maybe Smiley. If you don't know who Smiley is, go check out his channel. Smiley TK does really good pack breakdowns. Let's see if he's actually got the pack pricing for this one. Okay, so I just checked, and it's currently 3 sacred shards for $69.99. That is currently the price there. It's a pretty good price. That's pretty average. You know, we get about $23 per shard. That's about what they charge for a primal shard, sacred shard. We know that's overpriced, right? We know most people in the community will never, or should never, unless you're super crack, and buy sacred shards, just because we know that they don't have as much value. So we get about 21 points per dollar here. Now let's have a look at the primal shards. So far, we've looked at various different prices, and we're pretty much saying that on average, you get around about 8.33. So the example is a pack here worth 7. I think it's like $79.99. It's about $8. That's the best pack that they've offered. So what does this actually show us here? Well, you can see that they value the primal shard in terms of a summon rush more than an ancient and a sacred, but half the amount of a void. Now, obviously, the key thing to take away here is quantity. For the pretty much for the dollar per shard here, you're going to get far more opportunities to roll the champions you want because you're going to be able to summon more of them. And you can see that the void shards actually is the best purchasable summon rush shard in the game because you get so much more points per dollar. And hopefully PLARIUM won't look at this and go, oh, we need to nerf those packs. I don't want to do that at all. What I'm trying to point out here is that they've priced the summon rush for primal shard at 200 points, but they've charged you $8 a shard. So actually, you're basically getting the rates of a sacred shard in terms of the summon rush points, that tells me they've overpriced them, because what they should do is it should be almost akin to around about this. Somewhere in that region here, where in my opinion it should be no more than about $4. So it's a bit more akin to Void Shards. Remember that Void Shards are the most valuable shard in the game for a lot of players, because Void Legendaries are the most powerful champions in the game. And these Primal champions are not more powerful than a Void champion. So for a lot of endgame players, Void Shards are more valuable. To some extent, Sacred Shards are still more valuable, because you get those guaranteed chances of an Epic or a Sacred where it's no rares in it. You can still pull rares out of these Primal. And if you're basically overpricing them to about $8, this isn't even the worst pack. The average pack is something like 8.33. I think one of them is like this as a pack. That's the average pack, 8.33, which would put you even lower down. So what this Summon Rush has actually shown me is, again, it proves the point. We all know it, but it kind of gives you a statistical analysis here that actually the Primal Shards are overpriced, because even they have admitted it based on the way that they pointed the Summon Rush. If these shards were worth it, we would see more of a 30-point marker. Maybe I'm just looking at this as a different way, and maybe, you know, everyone in chat's can be like, in comments, it doesn't really matter. But, you know, I thought it was an interesting take to kind of look at how it values it on a Summon Rush, that it is basically valued slightly better than a Sacred and an Ancient, and much worse than a Void. Much worse. Actually crazy how good this pack is for Summon Rush points. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is Primal Quartz. Now, obviously, we know we can get Primal Quartz from 2 locations, and we can also get bonus Primal Shards from Arena. Primal Quartz right now is available here. I got 30 this week. It's pretty lame. The thing I want to call out about this Primal Quartz is they've put all of the Primal earning in-game behind extreme paywalls. And what I mean by extreme paywalls is pretty much, this is great if you're in a lower tier clan, I guess, and you can hit 650 million, but the majority of top tier clans are basically facing teams like this. You know, our clan now has kind of caved and has started building the cadaver teams, which means that theoretically the only way you really win this is if you push like your double Yumakos, your big trend up teams. You know, those are the clans that are going to really push, and it's just forcing extreme whaling, and you don't even get a guaranteed chance of a summon off this. You get like, you know, if you keep rolling 30s like I did, we don't actually know the probability of you getting the top range of quartz, because they've hidden that in the chest. We don't actually have the probability odds of these chests. I only know how much quantity you get. You definitely get clan gold, you definitely get quartz, you definitely get clan XP, and you get some artifact. I don't know what the odds are of all these different things. You know, you might have to go a whole month before you get a primal quartz. But the one thing I really want to call out here is the arena. Now, this isn't really going to matter for the majority of people, because you can't really get into plat. But why is there a primal shard, which we value less than a sacred shard as players, and even the summon rush is like barely valuing it anywhere near a void shard? I can get a void shard here, right? They're basically valuing it half the value of a void shard. Why is it only in platinum? But not just that, it is only available in the top 3 chests. You have to finish in top 3 of platinum to get yourself a chance of a primal shard. So what am I talking about here? I have gone into the data naturally, and I've pulled out all of these coded here. So there was initial bit of confusion because I didn't actually understand that there's basically 3 categories of chests, which is sort of 1 to 3 gives you the first. I think 4 to 40 or 4 to 50 gives you the second odds. And then the rest basically get the third odds. So you can see that the sort of second place, which is that second tier of chests, don't get a chance to get a primal shard. You basically get a 100% chance of getting gems, 100% chance of getting a void shard, and then you'll get either an epic or a legendary book. There's a sort of fixed 20% chance to get avatars, but only the super rare ones are available in top 1, 2, or 3. The super rare ones being these 2 red ones, not the blue ones. The blue ones are available below top 3. The red ones are only available as a reward in 1, 2, or 3 position. You can see in the third place, which is I think below top 50, you basically get even worse odds for different things. It's calculated in a weird way. I don't know whether it's all single pots, but you've got a 68, like if it's all a single pot and you can roll 2 rewards, then you've got a 34% chance it's going to be a gem, 31% chance it'll be a void, 24% it'll be an epic book, and 10% it will be a legendary book. I think that's how they've worked it out. Basically, you get 2 of the 4 rewards at random. Now, if you're in the top 3 positions, you have a 100% chance of getting 100 gems. You have a 43% chance of getting a void shard, a 26% chance of a sacred, and a 30% chance of a primal shard. Now you might be wondering, why are there 2 percentage columns? Well, the coded probabilities of the shards actually adds up to 115%. So we have to take sort of the individual odds, divide it with the total odds of the pot, which is pot 2 here, and that gives us the realized percentages, right? So it basically means even though they've coded it as 50%, because it's actually 115 probability of total, then it's actually sort of 50 divided by 150, and that gives us 43% final. And the way that it's coded is, and this is after I've been talking to a couple of plat players, specifically talking to Rats, who was asking me this question. So we were working out, and I was asking him, what is the guarantee when you finish top 3? He's finished top 3 a lot of times, so I know with certainty. And he pretty much said, you always get gems, you always get a shard, and then you always get a book, right? What type of rarity you get changes, but you always get one of those 3. So we've got 3 pots of rewards. Gems at 100% chance. You get a shard. That's 43.26, so only a 30% chance at a primal. And then when it comes to epic and legendary, it's the same as sort of the top 50. You get a 60% chance at an epic and 40% chance at a legendary book. So you have to basically be one of the top 3 players, and then you get a 1 in 3 chance of actually getting a primal shard. For something that players don't value anywhere near as much as void shards or sacred shards, it's just bonkers to me. Like, everyone in platinum, if they finish in platinum, should have a chance of getting a primal shard. Anyone who finishes top 3 should get a guaranteed primal shard. Like, come on, it's stupid. They should probably, to be fair, anyone who finishes in top 3, considering how difficult it is, should probably get a guaranteed sacred or a guaranteed void with a guaranteed primal, right? You can't just give them one shard. Like, it's top 3 they finished. This is meant to be the pinnacle of competition. Okay, we know it's pay to win and all those kind of things, but you get my drift. You finish, you do all that effort, you finish top 3. It's the same thing with Hydra Clash. You do all that effort, you spend like 4 hours grinding away, doing more damage to Hydra than you need to, and you walk away with 25% of a Primal Shard. It's just, you've put these Primal Shards and Primal Quartz in endgame pay-to-win content, and then you've given such a measly amount, or such a low chance, it's silly. Anyway, I just wanted to highlight those 2 areas. I know there was a bit of confusion from sort of like Scratch and a couple of people who were not so much confusion, but were querying what are the actual probabilities. 30% chance if you finish in top 3. I will say to PLARIUM, this should clearly state the rewards for these shards are limited to top 3. Not they may drop depending on chest type. No. The chests are predefined that you will have to finish in top 3 to get a sacred shard. It's misleading, it's unclear, and it's not appropriate. This text is wrong and it should be updated. I'm not upset about it. I just think it's, I'm a person who prefers clarity and clear information in the game. The fact that this goes platinum, super platinum, and ultra platinum chests may drop some of the following items. Like, there's no definition of what these chests mean. What they actually mean is ultra platinum chests equals top 3. So it should be the players finishing in top 3 can win a primal shard. The players finishing in sort of top 50 can win one of these, win one of the other chests or something. Players finishing in top 500 have a chance to do these. So you have to actually clearly specify what people can get, because this is just not good enough. Anyway, that's a little rant over. Not much else going on at the moment. If you're doing Savage, good luck. I've been grinding away at it. I'm still grinding away at this Explorer's deck as well. I've managed to get one of the Cruel mythical gears. So far, I've pretty much sold, as I expected when I did my video, over 50% of this gear, because it either rolled poorly or rolled the wrong stats. I think this Divine Speed did give me speed, but it didn't roll on any speed, so that wasn't ideal. I did keep the Cruel. It did give me a mythical crit rate, but it rolled like flat stats in different places. So I've kept it for now because maybe it's good. It did roll a little bit better, but it's not ideal. So yeah, so I'm still working through it. As you can see, I've already got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 epic. So pretty much I've got 2 more epic pulls before I run out of chances to get 3 in a row. We'll see what happens. But what I am going to do is, I don't really care about mythical champions. I'm going to get 2 more of these. I don't really see any value in holding on to them at the moment. I might as well pull it. Gives me a pretty good chance at a legendary 2%. It's better than anything else I've got going on for me right now. So we might as well pull some primal shards and we'll see what we get. Maybe we get a mythical champion that we can have some fun in the game. Or we're just going to get rare champions, probably. There's one rare. There's probably going to be another rare straight away. There we go. Welcome to why primal shards quantity is not enough. I've pulled 4 primal shards, and every single one of them, even on 2 of them boosted opportunities, has been a rare champion. And you want me to pay $8.33 for that? No thanks. You are good to go. Is there any value? Oh, we might as well pull 2 void shards. I don't mind a supreme kale. I just tend to pull void shards when there's a good times 10 for a void champion. Build up the mercy bit by bit. Times 10 we know is pretty rough anyway. but it's just going to be rare champions, so there you go. Oh well, we get ourselves a few summon rush points. You know, gets us a little bit further. I'd like to get the Immortal Soul coins just because the coins are pretty valuable. But what I will say is, yes, there are mythical skill tomes. I'm sure everyone is probably saying, why haven't you talked about this yet in the video? Yes, there are. I'm actually looking at this of the I've never seen a legendary book so low on a summon rush at 3,500 points. So at least what they're doing is making it so that the legendary rewards are being pushed down a tier, not actually just being deleted, right? In the past, they've had a habit of replacing the rewards with something else. They're just pushing the rewards down. So actually it's cheaper to get this legendary book. It was cheaper in the champion training by 1,000 points. So hopefully they'll continue that trend. There you go, guys. That is the end of the video. Bit of data and information about that. I wanted to do a bit of a math analysis on the summon rush now that we've got those points out. It still remains the same thing. The Primal Shards are okay. The Mythical Champions are a good concept, but until they actually adjust the pricing model, until they actually increase accessibility, until they give us a way to farm mythical books, until they give us a way to get more Primal Quartz, this mythical system will be bad. It will not be good for the community, and it will continue to create outrage, especially when they refuse to actually bug fix things like Cadaver, so that actually getting that Primal Quartz is even harder because you have to put even more effort in because people are dropping 3.5 billion with a rare champion. So it's all like, you know, exponential doubling down. So until they fix these core problems, I think everyone in the community is going to be outraged and they don't want to engage with that. I haven't bought any Primal Shards. I'm not going to buy any Primal Shards as a principal point. If I can win them because an event makes sense, which is what I'm doing right now, I'm going to win this Primal Shard because actually I just wanted to farm Savage gear. It's not necessarily because I wanted the Primal Shard. It's a bonus added for me. I'm not actually going for that for the sake of it. I'm just trying to get some Savage gear to improve my account. So if that situation makes sense, I'll go for those Primal Shards, but I'm not chasing them. Not at the current state and the way that they are. So there you go, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.